Hello. We're back. Announcements. I don't know if I have one. I'm trying to think. Nope. Okay, what do you want to talk about?
Nothing new, same as usual. Go check out my Redbubble shop if you want some cool merch from the campaign. Justin hates it, so he doesn't never advertise it on the VODs, but Lex loves it and is a frequent supporter.
I hate
You could be like
independent
Lex.
artists.
Be like Lex. That's all.
Yes, drinking milk out of a carton.
I thought it
I'm
was
drinking-
lemonade, honestly.
I did too at first. Like,
Oh, I
It does
wish.
give off lemonade.
Milk doesn't exactly quench your thirst.
No.
If you drink enough of it.
Yeah, but have you ever
I
had
mean,
yogurt?
technically.
Have you ever had Yoj?
Oh yeah, this is oat.
Did you just say Yoj?
Oh, absolutely. I said
J.
Yo-
Simpson?
Not Yoj.
Whoa.
Yoj
Huh?
is Yoj is a yogurt like juice mix that is fantastic when you've got like a stuffed up cold. Just get a gallon of Yoj and just enjoy that.
That
Oh,
does
thank
not
you.
sound good.
No, thank you. That sounds like using Malort as cough medicine.
Oh, that would work. Also, next week is our next session of From Ash and Earth. So if you want to come watch that, it'll be on YouTube next week. So check it out.
do it or else.
Do it or
I didn't
else.
say that for Kate, but do it or
What if-
else.
Do it or else.
What if I don't?
That's fine.
Because I'm not obligated to.
That's right.
You know what? You're right. You know who really cares about this channel? Caleb. Caleb showed up unannounced.
Oh yeah.
What, 2 sessions ago? It was so
You guys
ready.
like, oh, do you want to
so
roll a
ready to
character? And I was
play.
like, I don't know that I can. But
Also, I found this today. It doesn't really matter, but
Love them.
Is that a bagpiper
Oh, yeah.
doll?
yeah, it's a Scottish. Anyways, it's
Alright.
really creepy.
It is.
The eyes are all like. Anyways,
Looks like
Me.
it was made in the 90s.
my grandpa, if I was really bad, he used to scare me with it. And now,
It's like the opposite elf on the shelf.
and now he's a corpse, so I win. Last we left off,
Who's the winner now?
he was cool. With night falling over Volkill, Samira led the party to a rundown inn called the Boar's Tusk, tucked away in one of the city's poorer districts, and rather close to the corpse pits where the diseased dead were being burned. And the inn reeked of burning bodies. You all were given rooms, and while Scooch patched a broken window upstairs, he was accosted by a strange belly-button prodding satyr named Knuckles. Meanwhile, Tero, still invisible, spotted a figure watching them from a nearby rooftop. Slipping out through the repaired window, Tero pursued, eventually identifying the spy as Carver, the member of the Rime Z Vanguard and secret member of the Rime Dominion. A rooftop ambush followed, and in a shocking transformation, Tero's form darkened into something fearsome and fiery. After a brief but deadly exchange, Tero killed Carver and made sure his body couldn't be used for any sort of magical tracking by removing the head, destroying any methods of speech, and leaving a corpse hidden beneath a cloak, with the head in his lap. Not taking the brain, as that may point them in a certain direction once investigating the corpse. Among
Covering
Carver's
tracks.
Yes. Among Carver's possessions, Tero found a strange white and blue frost-emitting gem and returned with it to the inn. The next morning, the party regrouped and learned from the innkeeper, Hans Burgess, that Hans himself was part of a rebellion against Baron Philomen Uthred. Upon revealing his identity to Hans, who seemed to be looking for Tero based on the wanted posters and thinking that Tero could aid in such rebellion as he had experience breaking into the Baron's manor, Tero earned the man's trust, and Hans pointed the party towards possible allies. Scratch, the kobold alchemist working at the corpse pits, Bell End Bill, the clock tower keeper. Bell End is a euphemism for penis head. And two arcane, just for the people who don't know, and two arcane scholars living 2 doors down studying the elemental planes, and were the likely owners of the stolen gem.
Given that Tero saw it
And
stolen
Tero
from
saw it
their
stolen.
house.
With new allies and greater threats looming, the party set off to return the gem. At the Arcanist home, Samira's strange, suspicious approach earned a skeptical but curious welcome from a pale, whitish-blue genasi, who invited them inside for tea after subtly casting a spell and detecting said gem on Scooch's person. And basically saying good thieves wouldn't come back to the place they just stole and being like, we heard you lost something! Which is how the scenario went down. And Tero's hiding in an alleyway. The opposite alleyway from where Carver's dead body is.
Mm-hmm.
So, you're all invited into the home, minus Tero. The interior of the home is freshly painted and meticulously arranged, filled with strange curiosities, clearly not of this world. Objects whose materials, shapes, or energies defy understanding. Paintings hang along the walls depicting wild and alien landscapes. Rolling storms over oceans without horizons, endless coral spires beneath dark water, rivers of lava carving through obsidian cliffs, and a frozen tundra that seems to stretch into eternity. Small ice mephits flit silently through the air, tending to tasks like lighting candles and dusting floating shelves. You're all led into a spacious and warmly lit lounge where a fire crackles in a stone hearth. Bookshelves tower along every wall, packed with tomes marked in multiple languages, many of them magical or elemental in their text. Thick, blue velvet curtains are drawn over the windows, just on the other side of which Tero waits in the alley. Dominating one wall is a hand-drawn, 10-foot-wide map of the continent of Felrinthis. What was once an expanse of an ashen wasteland now shows only scattered remnants of that devastation, marked in grays and blacks across a largely reclaimed landscape. The Genasi gestures calmly towards an assortment of plush, dark blue suede sofas and armchairs. Please sit. His voice is cool but cordial. He's not intimidating or anything. He's just trying to be calm and reassuring. And offers you all seats.
Right, yeah. Can Abe scan around and have his focus kind of rest on some of those other landscapes that he hasn't actually seen before? Maybe just heard of?
Yeah.
And he's just kind of really interested in that because he hasn't seen anything like that before.
Yeah, they're all like very like elemental in nature.
Yeah. Because all he's seen is Underdark and Frozen Wasteland.
Yeah.
So
this is like, vast lakes of lava and volcanoes and obsidian expanses, endless oceans, that kind of stuff. It's all very... Yeah, if you weren't accustomed to the world at large, this would be like, what the fuck? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he's just only heard stories about,
Yeah.
like, how this place is kind of out of the norm, and that normally there's other things.
Yeah.
So he's just kind of absorbing right now.
Perfect. But yeah, the Genasi offers you all to take a seat on the armchairs and sofas. It's warm in here, which is a nice contrast to the awful cold outside.
Yeah. Abraham, when he sits down, he's just gonna sit on the sofa, like, with his legs over one of those arms.
Perfect.
Like how you shouldn't be sitting in a chair.
But it's the most comfortable way.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just gonna lean up against the wall.
Oh. Okay. As you all kind of take your spots, I am Kelric Hailthorn. My wife and I are planar scholars, among other things, here to study and safeguard a rather volatile artifact under orders of our organization. I now sense this is in your possession. In the wrong hands, it could prove catastrophic. This Genasi has whitish blue skin with a slight gleam to it, like it's catching the light and shining. Bright blue eyes, shoulder-length blue hair down to their shoulders. That's what I just said. Shoulder-length blue hair. With streaks of white running through it. And he's wearing a high-collared blue coat covered in silver snow and ice motifs.
Yeah, what organization are you talking about?
We're known as the Verdant Walkers.
Alright, what's that mean?
Scholars, guardians, observers of the natural world and its elements. Our roots are on the continent of Felrinthis. That's where we first found signs of the elemental fragments, buried in the dust of the old world. Since then, we've worked to recover and safeguard any that resurface to prevent any potential catastrophes they could cause.
How did you get here to Lunadir?
Magic?
And you weren't caught?
No.
Do you have a license?
No.
Better hope you don't get caught soon. That's not a threat. That's just like a genuine like They're very strict on magic here.
My wife and I don't intend to stay for long. We're here to reclaim the gem and leave.
Oh, yeah, good luck. Genuinely good luck with that. I do hope you get out. This place sucks. It fucking sucks.
Right. Speaking of, what is this gem? I mean, like, we... Obviously, you know we got it.
Got a lot of notes to scroll through here. Loading. A little loading screen pops up.
Takes a breath, like...
It's the lady with the map.
It's here somewhere.
The Jeopardy.
Do we
1 minute.
Do we long rest?
Yes,
yeah,
we
it's
did.
a new day.
Okay.
I think I might have marked it off for you. I definitely marked it off for Abraham.
Yeah, you did. Thank you.
No, because you hate me.
Oh, that's true. I did. Okay. This is a fragment of what we believe to be a piece of a primordial being tied to the para-elemental plane of ice.
You used a lot of syllables there. Can you simplify that for us?
It is an elemental fragment from an elemental plane.
That primordial, which means, from like the start of all things.
Sort of, yeah.
Gotcha.
This city shouldn't be this cold. Not for this long, not this deep. It's not just winter, it's elemental corruption. That shard you carry, as I said, it's tethered to the para-elemental plane of ice. Even dormant, it seeps its essence into this world, changing it, freezing it. The very land is responding, slowly being overwritten. It's why we track this gem and the others like it so carefully. Left unchecked, they can reshape everything.
So it's not the Rime Lord doing this? It's your little gem?
Most likely.
Or blend
Okay,
of both.
Yeah, because I was under the impression that the Rime Lord was just keeping it cold year-round.
The curious thing about this one, and I won't lie to you, the shard is powerful, but it's unlike any we've seen. It's jagged, incomplete. We believe it's one half of a whole, torn from its counterpart, and the instability it radiates possibly stems from that wound. It's no coincidence this continent as a whole is colder and crueler than it once was. I'm not asking out of fear for myself, but for everyone who calls this region home. Let me return this fragment to the Verdant Walkers, where it can be studied, contained, and kept from spiraling further out of balance. These fragments, they were never meant to survive the world that came after their own, and they certainly weren't meant to be passed between hands like coin.
Right, but like you don't know where the other end is, right?
No.
Or if there are even more pieces.
There is likely only a secondary piece. Most of them are of a similar size that we've encountered. And based on the break pattern in this one, I can only assume there isn't a singular other half.
Alright.
And as I say, yeah, this one's different. More jagged, rough around the edges. Like it was broken from something larger. The other shards we've recovered, they were more complete, more stable. This one feels like only a half. I suspect its twin is still out there somewhere, and if the effects from just this half are this intense, he kind of trails off, letting the implications settle.
What? Then what?
This gem is affecting this entire region, not just the city, but beyond it.
Yeah.
So I can assume the other one, wherever it is on this land, is doing the same.
Yeah, I think we know what this is all about. Right, so what do you think would happen if this part of the gem happened to reunite with its other half?
Well, it would become whole and become more capable of manipulating the element it is tied to. More
Which
catastrophic
could
in
be-
potential.
But also more stable.
Not necessarily.
So do you or do you not want to reunite the halves?
I would like to reunite the halves and ensure that the completed whole is kept safe with my organization, like the rest of the shards we've procured over the last century or so.
Yeah, but we can all kind of assume that that other half is with the Rime Lord. Yeah?
Are you sure?
Well, where did you acquire this one? It was stolen last night, and now it is returned.
I'm just gonna look at Tero.
Tero's
Oh,
aside.
Tero's not
It's
here.
not in the
Tero-
building.
Gotta
For
look
good
to
reason.
Scooch. Gotta look to Scooch who has it. Yeah, where did you tell us where you got this? I don't remember. How did you come about this thing?
You know, there's a lot of ins, a lot of outs, a lot of what have yous, a lot of you know, back and forth. Let's just say I got it from a source, and I know that that source took it back from another source, and then I feel like I'm talking in circles.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Let me...
Just saying, we got it. We acquired it from a bad dude named Carver, who we know is in connection with the Rime Lord.
Right. What you think of the leader of this city?
My wife and I have only been here for 2 months. We haven't been able to form much of an opinion. We've kept to ourselves.
Right. All right. Well,
And if this individual looks to Scooch, this Rime Lord, I've heard mention of their name. Their influence hasn't spread to the other regions of the world. Are they dangerous? Who are they?
Long and short, I'll be honest. It's a big fuck off dragon who's trying to freeze the world in his image. Cold, jagged.
And this individual
Huh?
that you acquired the gem from
Mhm.
was in cahoots with this Rime Lord.
Well, in cahoots within cahoots.
So there is a chance they were bringing this fragment to them.
Perhaps
Yeah.
just them, but I see the thing is I think the Airmay of this here beautiful berg, I think he is the kind of vain one to get all the credit having kind of dude that if he found a shard and knew it was incomplete, he'd wait till he had the whole thing to present it to whomever, so he got full credit. He didn't want to get partial credit, is what I think. Is that he'd wait and he'd hold on to it. So I think, if I were guessing, I'd think we'd be able to find the other half of the shard. We could bird dog it at the Airmay's abode.
Are you speaking about the Baron?
Oops. Yep, I meant to say the Aaron Bay. I was
I was wondering what word you were
So,
We're great at this, guys.
and you came here because you wish to return the gem?
Yeah, we was just trying to figure out what was going on. Honestly,
Get some
I
info.
feel like, well, the one that was spying on us is Carver. They were, like, in your domicile, through the window,
Mm-hmm.
spying us. And, well, one of our cohort happened to see that going on, intervened, and found what you got there on them's person. So clearly they was trying to steal it from you and spy on us at the same time. Which, by the way, I hope you don't mind me inviting our friend that happened to, attain your property back from this thief into your domicile, if that's all right.
Well, I invited all of you in, so if there is another...
Or Tero, meet me at the door. Do you mind if I unlock the door for our friend here?
Of course. Just out the hall. The front door will be right there.
Thanks. Abraham goes and opens the door for Tero.
Real quick, Justin. While Tero's been sitting in the alleyway while they've been having this conversation, can you just been stamping more pages while he's just been sitting out there?
Absolutely.
All right. So yeah, he's just putting more of those back in his bag, and then he's gonna come up to the doors. What?
Come. Abraham will stick his head out, tentacles on. Get in here.
You're still under the cover of darkness too, because so the worms aren't going to notice Tero.
Yeah.
Is that the best idea? My face is on wanted posters. I don't know if that'll make negotiations less.
Listen, there's no negotiations happening. It's just getting to know someone at this point. And
All right, if they won't be off-put.
I mean, look at me. You and me, we're both a bit off-putting.
Right, but I have a rather large bounty on my head, and my face plastered on half the walls in the city.
These ones, they're looking to get out of town.
All right, come inside.
All right, you can lead Tero back into the lounge where, as soon as you arrive, these ice methods start to flit through into the room, carrying silver platters full of custard cream cookies, teacups, and hot big teapot. And start pouring tea for everybody. And the Genasi looks over, or Calric, the Genasi looks over to Tero. Ah, there's your other companion. Hello, welcome. I'm
Hello.
Calric Hailthorn.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet
This
you.
is the one, this is the one to thank for retrieving your item.
I appreciate it.
You're very welcome.
It is quite a dangerous artifact.
I got that impression. The one who stole it seemed very, very eager to bring it in the direction of the Baron's estate.
And your friends have confirmed or told me that this Baron is a part of this Rime King's dominion.
Well, he runs the country, and the Baron runs the city, and if my understanding of civil government is up to snuff, then I believe, yes, that's how that works.
So there's a chance they were going to bring this to the Rime King, and by the description given to me of a dragon who wishes to freeze everything, and based on the nature of these shards, that would seem that the dragon is in possession of the other half, most likely.
Yeah, I think you pieced that jigsaw together.
Is this dragon more powerful in its abilities, size, manifestations than other dragons of its nature?
They call it a great worm.
Right, oh man, I keep forgetting that we've seen them compare.
It's
He
It's
runs
the
an entire
biggest-
It's
country.
older than old. Yeah.
It's bigger than most of the trees in the area.
For
I'd
context,
say-
it's 350 feet tall.
Yeah,
So it
yeah,
is
I would
big.
say, I would say
It's
in context to this city, it might take up maybe a quarter, close to maybe a third.
Oh, we
I-
also have.
spreading
we also-
Scale
spreading
is
out its wings, probably half.
scale plays tricks on you.
Yes, Tero, was it?
Yes. We also have reason to believe that he's the son of a semi-primordial being.
Right, primordials, yeah.
Who?
What's her name?
Lady Matrigan.
Yes. I think she went by a different name too, didn't she? That she mentioned
Yeah,
at one point.
go for it.
Winner, the Gothel, what was the other?
Patrick of the Tangled Weave.
Yeah,
Tangled Wave.
Matrigan of the Tangled Wave.
Interesting. Okay. So I ask again, is there another motive for you coming here other than just to return the shard? If that is at all your reasoning.
Information. I mean, the shard itself seemed to hold some special properties, so I figured if the Rhino wants it,
It's
it's important, and you gave us a lot of that.
It is
information,
quite
but I
capable
feel
at
like there's something else going on.
enhancing the element it is tied to, as do all the other ones. Each of these shards is tied to one of the elemental planes and is capable of enhancing that element's power.
Well, the Rime King is a white great worm. They possess the ability of controlling blizzards, of a nasty frost breath.
White dragons aren't usually capable of controlling such things.
Well, we think we found maybe the ability. How it's.
That is curious.
I'm gonna try to recall in my brain mind.
Yeah,
Whenever we witnessed the Rime
when he was in his dragon form.
in his, we didn't see him in his person.
Yeah, you did.
Fuck.
Mm-hmm.
He was a tiefling with like
And
a
his-
crown of horns.
Right, in his tiefling form.
Yeah.
Did he seem like he was anything that maybe would ping? Did we notice any
He did have
jewelry?
he did have
or-
an amulet around his neck that was like bluish, like a bluish gem.
Right. Yeah, that would make a lot of sense, and I'm pretty sure if I remember correctly of how this continent is set up, the northern half of it is like hoarfrost covered tundra, like way worse than what we're dealing with down here. Oh, I think we have attributed it to the fact that he is a dragon and he possesses a lair, like
This
a
would go
territory.
far beyond. A dragon's lair doesn't. The effects of a dragon's lair don't extend that much. So
Unless-
there is a
yeah.
good chance they're in
Application.
possession of one of these shards.
Right.
The other thing that's curious is we've encountered others like it for different elements, always on the same continent, Felrinthis. Never this far from the old world, the old scars. The first we found surfaced 94 years ago, pulled from a forest by a fresh team of walkers on their inaugural mission. This is the first we've tracked beyond that continent. So it had to have come here somehow. And I have no idea how to retrieve it from said dragon, if it is indeed this powerful. If it's had possession of this
Where
half, it could be
the-
beyond comprehension its power.
the half
Yeah.
that you have, where did you come in possession of it?
When my wife and I arrived here 2 months ago, we came to the city as soon as we caught wind of something cold and wrong. We found the shard buried in a tragedy. A family of 5 frozen to death in their sleep. Their home was encased in thick layers of ice, their bodies solid. The kind of deep freeze that shouldn't be possible no matter the temperature. We never learned how they came into contact with the fragment, but we knew what it was based on the reports, so we came to the city to retrieve it.
I have a theory. Just a theory, though. This continent, what? We know that this continent was meant to have 2 protectors, right? 2 brothers. Maybe they were 2 halves to a whole, if you will. Maybe it was intentional to some degree to create another climate, a continent meant to be colder than usual. I don't know. It's just a theory. It's just a crazy
The
wild
continent
theory.
was never this cold, though. It was cold,
Well-
but this cold is perverse.
Maybe the Rime Lord has figured out a way to focalize and enhance and billow out the coldness that's tied to whatever that fragment is.
So the fragment must be retrieved from the Rime King before whatever they are doing to this continent spreads elsewhere.
I have a thing. Don't wish to speak for the whole group, but I have a thought here.
Okay.
If we do allow you to, well, it's yours to take anyway, but since we have returned it, I think a favor could be that whenever you return to your people, maybe research it, see if there's a way to nullify or dampen the effects to some degree, because if we have to fight this dragon king, which in our current state I don't think would be possible, I would like us to have some defense or some capabilities of maybe not being completely frozen solid like that family was that you found.
What exactly are you asking for? Aid from my people, or
That would be lovely in the long run, because I feel like this is going to end up in a bit of a civil war
and
of some degree.
my order has experience in containing such shards.
Yeah, so at the very least, something that, if not manpower or people power, then at very least something that can counteract or we could use against. It doesn't have to be big, it could be just enough.
I can't provide any aid right now, in this moment. The process to contain the shards is extensive and requires multiple hands. And we have the means to do so at our headquarters on Felrinthus.
We've heard that you've, since being in this region, have carried a reputation of neutrality.
I would say not neutrality, more keeping our nose out of things to avoid being detected in our business affairs, but that seemed to have not paid off, as again an individual tied to this Rime King you speak of did steal the artifact we came here for.
Where'd you find that artifact?
I just told your friend it was in the home of a family of 5 who froze to death.
Right, but where?
In the
Like,
city.
This city?
Yes. That's why we came to the city 2 months ago.
Have we revisited the site? If not, maybe that's something we could
We
look into.
did a few days after reacquiring the gem, and all of the ice seemed to have dissipated.
Did you work with the authorities at all, or did you just kind of show up and go into the house and...
We tried to work with the authorities, but they were rather abrasive and uncooperative.
That sounds like them.
It seems this continent has been plagued by an oppressive government, which echoes the news we've heard elsewhere. The other governments of the other continents are refusing to act as they do not wish to anger a powerful dragon.
Speaking of oppressive governments, you haven't had any spells of misremembering things or blank spots in your memory, blackouts?
We did when we arrived in this city, but since then we've been putting protections on our minds. Something is listening to all telepathic conversation in this city.
Oh, yes, they are.
Yeah.
Something is watching everything in this city, listening.
And by the expression of me speaking directly into your mind, you know that I have something to bypass that.
Yes.
Abraham wants to take a number of the responses that they've given so far.
Yeah.
And try to gauge whether or not they are being compelled by any outside force.
No.
Okay. Yeah. And he's just giving a little tidbit. And, well, that's good to hear that you were keen enough to suss that out.
We've experienced our fair share of strangeness out in the world. Something listening in to conversations isn't exactly new or unheard of. And with all the reports of the kidnappings over the last few weeks here in the city, it's... well...
What kidnappings?
yes, people disappear occasionally. The more intelligent people have been getting taken. It's why my wife and I are protecting our minds.
Right, do you know, I mean, are the disappearances more northern city, western?
All around.
All around. Oh.
But my wife and I have not investigated any of that because it is not tied to our current job here in the city.
Yeah. I mean, just by looking at me, you know why.
Yes.
Yes, Abraham, you're very, very smart. We know.
He also looks like Tero again. You tried to kill the Baron.
Why, yes, I did.
I'm glad you recognize me.
Based on the things we've said together in this chamber and the words that I've heard around the city and the way the government of this city has responded to people, down with the Baron. I hope you succeed in your mission.
Why, thank you.
And if they are tied to this plot of using these shards for nefarious purposes, it seems their downfall would be beneficial for all.
Indeed.
Also, it's a good thing you plan on getting out of that.
I understand the darkness the Baron and his master have cast over this land on the words I've heard, the conversations we've had here. But my wife and I purpose here is not to spark rebellion or war. Our organization exists to preserve balance, not to pick sides in mortal conflicts. But if the dragon does have in its possession the other half of this shard, then our organization's existence and duties would cause us to aid in such an endeavor in retrieving it.
Would you mind me asking, what are some ways that we keep in contact? You know, assuming, you know, we split ways at some point.
would say
I-
magic, but again,
You have
the things are listening.
Right, but those listening, it has a range, and we have been inclined to pursue and travel between, regions where them's not listening as much.
And why would we keep... Just out of curiosity, not mean to... I'm just curious. Why would the Verdant Walkers, my wife and I, choose to engage in ongoing discussions with your group?
I mean, it's not. I mean, relevant information, right? So let's say we're incentivized to go after this, other half that you're looking to get. Well, let's say we get it. How do we, flag you down? Be like, hey, we got this thing.
I think by the time that we would be able to acquire such a thing, should be in possessions of magics to allow us to communicate across great distances.
What makes you think that, Crearyn?
What would make me not
Yeah,
think
what kind
that?
of magic are you talking about? I've never
Yeah.
heard of such a thing.
The Genasi looks incredibly confused. There is a quite common method of communication known as a sending spell.
What?
What is this? What is this?
It's a spell that you can communicate telepathically with an individual on the same plane of existence as you, and no matter how far away
Wait, so
they
like,
are.
I've never
so
heard.
like Abe's telekinesis, but like farther?
Telepathy.
Yes.
Tomato, potato.
Well, okay.
How restricted is magic here?
Well, if you don't have a
Very.
license, you don't have an education, basically.
Like, if you do magic within the city, you're SOL.
Imprisoned.
I kind of
would
make
say.
it up as I go. Abe paints things, and magic shit happens.
Oi.
Sorry, not to out you, Abe. Your artwork's very good. I just wanted to give them the lowdown since I'm getting the vibe that we're trusting them.
Murals. Interesting.
What you seen?
No, I'm just curious. Many people have different methods of utilizing the weave, and painting is one I have not heard of before. Others use dance, music, word, prose.
Shit.
Shit. Sure.
Yeah, we've
Quite literally ran into someone who does that.
Some channel their
True
magic
fact.
through the art of artifice, some channel their magic through hemocraft. There's all sorts of methods.
Oh. Yeah, well, it only makes sense with colours to me.
Well, if by any chance you come across the means to communicate across far distances, I am now familiar to you. That's all you need.
Yeah, well, now that I know it's possible, that gets a lot of wheels turning for me. Thanks.
There is a chance to communicate with others if they exist on another plane of existence, but there is a high chance for failure to do so. My wife and I do tend to spend our time on our home plane from time to time.
Do you happen to have any? Are you a purveyor of the arcane?
Not exactly.
So you wouldn't have like a scroll that might put me in the right direction?
I have no use for scrolls. I do not maintain my
What else?
spells in a book or any form of transcription methods.
Alright.
Do you happen to have any Nida or Pantar on you
No.
that I could? No, you don't have any components for sale.
No, I think most
Okay.
people decide to use foci to
Yes,
channel the magic.
components is a relatively rudimentary.
That's what you go for your components if you're like stripped of all your gear and you have nothing on you. Then you can find these things to be able to cast those magics.
Okay, so you're special. I need Natter and Pantar to launch tiny meteors from the sky.
Well, I'm sure you could find them somewhere, but I don't have any in my possession.
Wait, Samira.
I've just been asking around. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll just find some pine trees, right? And we'll give them a good burn and get some tar.
Half the trees in this continent are giant spider friends of Tero's.
Right, and we can suss that out.
I'm just saying it's real hard to find pine tar in this climate.
Yeah, it is.
There's
It is.
Yeah.
pine trees everywhere.
At least naturally. They're not
Right.
pine trees.
Some of them are.
Sorry, DM. The sense that we got is that the spider friends were the shadow-touched woods.
Yes, strictly in the Shadow Touch Wilds, because that's,
Okay.
that's what the spider
Wilds.
said.
That's what I was thinking.
They said they
So
make
if we
up
go,
almost the entirety of the wilds. Yeah.
yeah. So if we go
Gotcha, okay.
south, or if we go, to,
Yeah,
like,
the spiders only exist in the
Veld.
Shadow Touch Wilds.
Okay.
So I was thinking.
Right.
I just
Yeah.
wanted to be sure.
So
Yeah, I just want to say also, Sammy's eyes just get huge when she says, they're not all pine trees.
So
Right, I think we've got a little bit of a partnership. Maybe not necessarily perfect partnership, but we got a little bit of a relationship going on here.
I
and-
will relay all of this to my organization. I can't act on their behalf without giving them information.
Right,
I'm going to be the person. Our friend here, our good friend Tero, was able to secure quite deftly and quite quickly this item.
That is true. It is why I am going to my organization to
Study it, but you would have gone
in an attempt
empty-handed.
to also provide aid to your cause.
Right. Okay.
In the meantime,
Let's shake on it.
They kind of look down at your hand like they don't want to shake your hand, because it's not like they're like they look down at your hand. They kind of examine it a little bit. Is it dirty or anything?
Oh, Crearyn will take off the glove. It's a deal.
Is your hand dirty though? They look at your hand.
Crearyn is like,
They're
the
ex-
thing about Crearyn is well maintained.
They're examining your hand pretty closely.
Sure.
Like they're looking at your cuticles, your nails, the skin.
They'll,
They shake it.
this person just made a deal with a fae, so DM, do what you want with that.
Yeah.
Ding, 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 ding!
In the meantime, though,
A deal
uh,
required.
what if you do hand over the gem today? It would be best to get it off this continent. That said,
do you have immediate means of getting off the continent? Or would you need an escort?
no, I will be leaving immediately. I can, teleport away.
Do you offer classes for this kind of magic? Because I would love to audit one in the
Yeah,
future.
I would like.
Do you
I
have
would-
a Do you have a patron that you are connected to in a symbiotic relationship?
No,
Then I
not
can't.
that I know of. Oh. Is that an option?
No.
Uh-uh.
Judging by looks at you. Your new ventures into the arcane.
How did you know?
You didn't know what a sending spell was.
Yeah, but neither do half the people on this continent. If I'm being honest.
Also, you have an air about you.
That's fair, yeah.
Yeah.
Again, do not want you to go empty-handed. Will you be handing over the gem today?
Yeah, it was
Group consensus, I would say. Everybody raise your hand if you want to hand over the gem.
Yeah, I mean, it's
Not
not
sure
it's
what
not
we can do
useful
with
to
it if we
us.
don't know. Yeah.
Yeah.
We could probably find something to do with it.
Yeah,
We have an
yeah,
artificer
yeah.
here. Yeah. Just
It's
stick
yours
it into
any-
Penny.
I mean, unless it counts as like some type of cold fusion.
As you like, you keep it in the pouch.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, they take the pouch. They make sure it's in there, and as soon as they open the bag, some like frost begins to like hurl out of the bag, and they quickly close it.
Ooh. That's brisk. I was just getting used to how warm
Yeah,
it
you
is.
all feel like the air in the room immediately drop like 10 degrees. Just. And they
What?
tie it up.
That thing would be good at a rave, man.
Yeah, cold in them lungs.
They kind of flick their wrists a little bit while holding it, and it looks like it disappears up their sleeve.
That's a fine trick.
Magic and some sleight of hand.
What can I do for you? Oh, it's all magic. You'll be encountering people that clearly want to see you dead, yes.
Yeah, like all the time.
On a semi-regular
Every day.
basis, yeah.
Are there chances people may attempt to look through your belongings, confiscate
Yeah.
things?
Oh yeah.
If we get arrested, yeah.
Who among you is the most convincing?
As
Okay.
far as what?
I can
In what
convince.
context?
Deceitful, persuasive,
I have a
really,
+7 deception.
Pretty persuasive.
morally gray.
I'd say deceptive, probably Crearyn. No offense.
Perfectly fine.
No, yeah, that's fair.
Looks
I lend
Crearyn.
myself to be more.
Well, I do.
If named.
Like, you are Fey, and the Fey are tricky.
Yeah.
And I guarantee you just tried to do something to me.
Oh, of course not.
I've encountered a few Fey in my time.
Learned our tricks.
I like these people you're with. You as well. I pray that I am giving this to the people who will use it wisely and not recklessly.
Wait, you're letting us keep it?
No, not the gem. Of course not.
Oh, okay, good.
That would be like
was like-
handing over an orb of devastation to a toddler.
No idea
Don't know what that is, but
No
it sounds
offense.
devastating.
Sounds frightening.
They produce what looks like a canvas bag. And the front of the canvas bag is a frowning face. This is made to resemble a certain bag of extra-dimensional properties.
Right.
This is a bag of devouring.
There it is. There it is.
It is not an extra-dimensional space, it is a feeding orifice for an extra-dimensional creature. Devours whatever is placed into the bag. Lost forever. Use it wisely. And don't mistake it for a bag on your person. And hands it to Crearyn. You have been given a bag of devouring.
All right. Let me Google what the fuck this is.
It's on D&D Beyond.
Yeah.
Resembles a bag of holding, but is a feeding orifice for a gigantic extra-dimensional creature. Turning the bag inside out closes the orifice.
There's a 50% chance the creature could.
Yeah. The extra-dimensional creature attached to the bag can sense whatever is placed inside. Animal or vegetable matter placed wholly inside the bag is devoured and lost forever. When part of a living creature is placed in the bag, as happens when someone reaches inside it, there's a 50% chance that the creature is pulled inside the bag. A creature inside the bag can take an action to try to escape, doing so with a successful DC 15 athletics check. Another creature can take an action to reach into the bag to pull a creature out, doing so with a successful DC 20 athletics check, provided the puller isn't pulled inside the bag first. Any creature that starts its turn inside the bag is devoured, its body destroyed. Inanimate objects can be stored in the bag, which can hold a cubic foot of such material. However, once a day, the bag swallows any objects inside and spits them out into another plane of existence. The DM determines the time and plane. If the bag is pierced or torn or is destroyed, anything contained within if the bag is pierced or torn, it is destroyed, and anything contained within it is transported to a random location on the astral plane. Basically, it eats things. Hands it over to you. It was once in the possession of someone of my order, and they mistook it for a bag of holding, and that was that. May it serve better in your hands.
Sure, we can
Did they
probably
survive?
No, their name was Oleander. No.
So we okay, yeah, no, we
On the bag it says in property of Thomas Crow. It also doesn't say that. But yes, it is just a bag of devouring.
Crearyn's gonna tuck that so it's behind their cloak, so like the strap. It just looks like one of their other, like another colored strap that goes in the bag with like the satchel part would sit closer to like above their ass, the lower back area.
Be funny if a pickpocket tries to steal from it.
They put I'm gonna tie a little tiny coin purse on the side of it so it gets a little jingles.
Okay.
Because I'm just gonna feel someone's gonna go and then whoa.
Yeah.
So how common? Can we figure out how common one of these is?
The bag?
Yeah.
Incredibly rare.
So not a lot of people know about this thing, huh?
I would say no. There's probably a few in existence.
Well then, yeah, this seems like it's rife for all sorts of tomfoolery.
All right. Well, have we we've handed it over. So,
Wish you luck.
I wish you luck as well.
do you mind if I, observe your transportation?
Feel free, but you may not be able to glean much. I believe our methods of manipulation and weave may be different.
Yeah.
They close their eyes, and a weird like seam behind them opens up in the air, and two long icy arms grab them and just pull them through, and the seam closes.
Do you know how they were paying for this place?
And as soon as they leave, it's almost like a spell sort of fizzles out, and the building is just no longer there.
Standing in empty space.
And you're just standing in an empty space in the street.
But it's
Is
But it's dark, yeah.
is
Let's find out.
Carver's body still in the street?
forgotten, God.
Yeah. Or no, it would have been taken away
That
by
would
now.
be
Okay. Cool.
In the alley, like, next door. But, like, further down the alley.
Okay, cool.
But now you're just standing where a house never was.
Always
We
was.
should go.
it's dark.
Yeah, it's still pretty early in the morning.
Oh, it's early
It
morning.
doesn't.
Okay,
The sun doesn't
yeah.
rise until like noon, and it's like 10 a.m.
Okay, well let's. I mean, where are we gonna go?
Hans.
The
You got information of people that you can talk to and stuff.
well, we could stop by the cremation pits, look for an alchemist, or we could stop by the bell tower and see old Bellend.
Oh, I figured we'd discuss on this.
Because Hans told you that the guy at the alchemist pit, Scratch, was working with the city at the alchemist pit or at the cremation pits to, because that's what they're also burying the burned people to keep them away from any sort of sites of mourning and stuff. That he was working there because in places where things decay and rot and whatnot underground, you can sometimes find a substance called saltpeter, which is highly explosive.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And the alchemist had gone missing, right?
They hadn't heard from him in a few days. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're gonna go. Oh, so we
And
go
then-
look at the crematorium to look for the outcome.
And there's a guy who works at
Yeah.
the clock tower who maintains the clock tower, and they said that would be a safe place of refuge if you guys need it.
Let's go. Let's maybe. I think making our way to the clock tower, make our presence known, find a place to sit. I think going to the crematorium next would probably be a good bet.
Yeah, so then we talk to Scratch and then we go see Bellend. Is that what you're saying?
Other way.
Well, we gotta find Scratch.
You're closer to the
Scratch
clock
is
tower
missing.
than you are to the cremation pits. At this
we
point.
go talk to Belland, and then
Good.
the place.
I'm Bell and Bill.
What?
No, he's not here. I heard you say my name.
Said my name 3 times and I'm here.
I came out of the ground. Yeah, the clock tower is basically like a block away, and it looms above the city, and the clock face actually like is illuminated. And the clock face says the roughly it's like maybe 10 after 10.
Okay.
So yeah, actually, no, it's 10 o'clock. So you can hear the clock tower going off. Like, gong, gong, gong. Yeah, you're about a block away from the clock tower, and I'd say 2-3 blocks away from the cremation pits. And also remember, Tero warned Hans to get his comrades out of the catacombs because they are layered just above where he saw the brain maze. So that's what Hans is doing. So what are y'all doing? Cremation pit, clock tower, something else?
I think clock tower first, then cremation pit. That's what we were saying.
Let's go.
Okay. So you follow the gonging of the bell up to a block away through these like cluttered, narrow streets, icy streets. People doing their morning commute, bundled heavily in like warm clothes, oil lanterns being lit, or oil basins being lit to provide some warmth. But even the oil looks like it's like it's thicker. It's not frozen because oil can't exactly freeze, but it's like turning like a thicker sludge-like consistency. Like when oil gets really cold, it turns into like a sludge almost.
Mm-hmm.
But you find your way towards the clock tower. It's this massive, like 6-story structure of like Gothic architecture with like a steepled point. One that Tero was perched on invisibly the other night, throwing pamphlets off of.
No one knows that.
Yeah, you know that. You alone. Yeah, you come to the clock tower. It's got like a little house attached to the side of it.
How are we doing, like, regarding, guard presence? What's it look?
They're out and about. It's the capital city of this region, so it's a heavy guard presence. It's heavier than it was the last time you all were in Volkill when you all were apprehended. You can probably assume because Carver was just killed and he's connected in a way, and the other way it looks like it probably might have picked up after the failed attempt on the Baron's life. So the guard presence is a little more heavier than usual. Like
Right, but
like a patrol of like 6 guards every like 30 feet.
okay, but they're not able to see Tero with us, or like we're walking a
Oh,
block.
they will be able to see Tero if he's not concealed.
Mhm.
Okay. So
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm trying to get context for the situation here, so that I'm not like being completely ridiculous with my actions. So
Yeah.
there are guards. You said every
Everywhere.
30
It's basically like the city's basically become like under martial law in a way with how many like. Yeah.
Okay, so a group as big as ours moving at night is probably going to.
It's not night. It's morning now. It's 10 a.m.
Oh, sorry. That was
Yeah,
fine.
it's just dark still because of
The
where
way
we
the
are.
sun works here. Yeah.
Got it. Okay.
Oh yeah, that's right. We keep saying we need to get Tero a cloak, but we keep not doing that.
That reminds me, actually, the individual probably would have given you Tero something to aid in your concealment.
Oh yeah, because they recognize me.
Yeah,
from
yeah.
the-
That would actually make sense
Yeah. So
Yeah, it's right.
you need some-
We're gonna do it right.
Yep.
Reverse back a little bit, because otherwise it's
Reverse,
it might be a bit
reverse.
of a pain in the neck trying to conceal Tero constantly.
Yeah.
I was gonna say he can just like sneak along in the alleyways parallel to the party's path, but like a cloak is also helpful.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. They give you this. They would have given you this like jet black cloak with a hood, and would have told you while wearing this cloak, it is harder to see you, as the color shifts to camouflage you.
Oh.
With the hood up.
Is that a particular? Does
Cloak?
that cloak have a name?
Cloak of Elvenkind.
Nice.
Oh, do they say that out loud?
Yeah, probably.
Oh, fun. Let me just roll something real quick. That'd be regular. I'm gonna roll a deception check against anyone who'd like to roll insight.
Yeah, I'll do it.
Roll an insight check
And this
if
is
you're offering.
this is the like Legacy 2014 version of the Cloak of Elvenkind.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So 22 that
Oh,
she got to
fuck
beat.
off.
Nope.
18.
Yeah. All right.
Okay.
Damn.
46.
No one.
I rolled a
Justin Nelson.
flirty.
Ooh. Yeah, they give you a Cloak of Elvenkind.
Okay. Sweet. So he has that.
Cool. So if the hood, when the hood's up, you basically are camouflaged. Any stealth checks are made with advantage if the hood's up.
Does this require a
Yes. Attunement.
a
Yeah.
tune? Does it?
Yeah.
Oh, there it is. Yeah. Would we have had time?
Yeah,
while
yeah,
just
yeah,
sitting
yeah,
there?
yeah.
Okay, cool.
Well,
it's- it's actually perception checks made to see you have disadvantage, and you have
Yeah.
advantage on stealth checks. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Very nice.
And it's only uncommon.
Yeah. Oh boy.
That's-
Well, our rogue just
that
got
can't
even
be
more
right.
roguey.
Well, yeah.
all right.
So there, yes. Now that makes sense.
Uh. Right. It's unfortunate. There's so many good buildings, good tapestries or canvases. To put some of my murals down, and well, it's one too many gods.
You'd be passing by the mural that you got arrested for, probably at this moment too, because that would
Yeah.
probably be in the town square where the clock tower is, and it's been like blasted away with magic and shit. Like it's faded in parts, but not completely removed.
It was all just basic paints anyway.
But everybody make a perception check as you walk past it, because you have to like walk literally right past it to get to the clock tower.
Mm-hmm. 12.
7.
Is this for sight?
Yeah.
It's Druck around.
No, Druck's dead.
I think nobody rolled high enough.
Anyone got higher than a 10?
I don't think
I got
so.
a 12.
12?
Oh.
Okay. You see little, like, you see tiny, smaller paintings on this wall, Samira.
Can I try to discern what they are?
I mean, if you get close
what
enough,
they're
you
of?
if you get close enough, you can easily tell.
Yeah, I'm gonna kind of step away from the group and just kind of try to
All right,
naturally.
you all just see Samira
like,
kind of
split.
step. You see Samira kind of just step away. I mean, yeah.
And then, like, as I'm walking, just kind of do like side glances, trying to figure out what these images are.
It's one says don't silence our voice. Another says the Rime King eats dong. Like people have just kind of like added on to this mural. And it looks like any attempts to like remove these added on stuff is like a little more difficult.
Okay. Or it's probably like more sworn. Like people are more likely to come back.
Like
and
it doesn't
put
look like
things-
they've used paint. It looks like they've used like weird substances. But it just
Okay.
says like don't silence like someone's just like fucking smeared shit all over the wall, and it says don't silence our voices. The Rime King eats dong.
Okay, I'm gonna try to like merge back with the group I'm doing kind of like, a theme park split where there's like two oncoming groups and the group
Okay.
is kind of splits in half. Yeah, I'm doing that. Just regroup with my party and just nudge Abe and say, "Your mural made a difference."
What do you mean?
I mean, people noticed. And they agreed.
What? I mean, it's gone. Right? They got rid of it.
The image is gone, but the message isn't.
What makes you say that?
Someone literally wrote the Rime King eats dong under where your mural was.
What? Wait,
Yeah.
hold on. I gotta see this.
Yeah, you turn back and you go back to the wall, and it says, in one corner, it says the Rime King eats dong. You can't exactly tell what substance it's written in, but it's definitely not paint. And then the other one says, don't silence our voice. And there's like a city official, not a city official, but like a city worker, just like a commoner essentially, with like a bucket full of like as hot water they can get, and they're like trying to clean it, but the water is like, the hot water, almost boiling hot, is freezing as they're trying to like scrub off this stuff. They're like,
Yeah,
"Gah."
everyone's trying to pay as much attention as possible to that to see like what type of thing is, like what type of arcane or whatever is at play. Maybe it's like they're using oil paints or something. I don't know.
It's just a weird substance, like one you've never seen, and it's just kind of like adheres to the wall in a weird way.
Can he like go to maybe? I mean, he doesn't feel great about this, but his curiosity is getting the best of him. He wants to try and scrape off a bit.
Yeah, you go to scrape off a little bit, and it barely like comes off. Like, it doesn't even flake or anything. It's like you're scratching like. It's like gritty, and it makes like a scraping noise, like a loud scraping noise, like you're running your fingernail across concrete.
Alright. Well, that's something to think about. We should keep
And then the
moving.
person who's there trying to wipe it off is like, "Yeah, I can't fucking get it off either. Trying using hot water, it's not working." And the hot water's just like freezing instantly, just because of the weird climate.
How long you been at this?
2 weeks.
2 weeks.
I haven't made a difference on the mural. I've been able to clean a little bit, but these fucking additions here, can't touch them.
Man, you've been getting paid for this. Looks
Yeah,
like you put
one
a lot of
one copper every couple days. Pretty good.
My man, there's better things out there. How do you even eat with that?
We manage.
We?
Yeah, my family and we manage. It's fine. The Baron provides as long as, we do our job.
Right.
He goes to
Well,
dip
you-
back into the bucket, and the bucket's frozen. He's like, "Why does this water freeze so quickly?"
Keep at it. You'll get it.
Just keeps going back to like trying to like now I gotta go get new water, and he walks off.
No, I kind of feel like I understand why it's only one copy. I don't know. Right, well, that's interesting. Clock tower. Or bell tower.
Well, arrive at the clock tower. This huge, like a three-story structure, roughly. Big illuminated clock face. Now would probably say 10 after 10. And then there's like a little house addition onto the base of the clock tower. And there's like a sign on the door that says, "No knocking, no announcing your presence, go away." No visitors.
Who was it that said we should go here? I'm not sure why we're here.
Hans. Hans, the guy who runs the Boar's Tusk.
Well, I think I was in my books at that time.
Yeah, you seemed a little sleepy this morning.
What are we doing this for, though? Like, is there like a...
Well, do you see a jackdaw anywhere? That's kind of like the key to the...
Right, yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
Painted in the tiny corner in the front, in the window on the door, barely recognizable. It would look like a speck of dust if you walked by. Is a tiny little jackdaw holding a knife in its mouth, the symbol of the rebellion.
But like the real rebellion, not the fake rebellion.
Not the fake,
Yeah.
not the Rime said Vanguard. This real rebellion that this guy is trying to get going in this city.
Seems like this is the place.
And as you recall, Hans gave you all a... Actually, I don't know if he did. Can't remember. Either way, he told you what to look out for.
Who's gonna be the voice here for us?
I was just told that I was the voice.
Oh, sorry.
But sorry, I read it. I'm not the voice. You, someone else. I obviously can't just speak into people's minds really.
You kind of hear shuffling on the other side of the door.
So then, yeah, you just see.
I mean, I don't seem to have the best track record with introducing ourselves to other people.
Well, while everyone's talking, there's a little thing with two little legs pops up on to Scooch's hands and starts like just walking back and forth and just goes bing bong bing bong bing bong bing bong
I'm the only one who's supposed to run the clock tower around here.
bing bong
Street urchins.
bing, bong.
Door rips open wide, and you see standing there is this tiny fucking halfling, maybe 3 feet tall, maybe a little taller. Big glasses that magnify his eyes to like 10 times. And he's wearing what looks like a pot on his head that's been like shaped into some sort of like egg-like shape that he wears over his head. But it definitely was once a pot. And he's just wearing like his like nightgown that he wear to bed. Yeah? What do you want?
Hail.
Only I'm allowed to ring bells around here.
Well, you know, it's
Bell and Bill.
That's what we were
It's not
coming.
Bell and fucking Dickhead right here.
Yeah, because
What do you want?
that'd be too redundant.
What do you want?
I was hoping you'd let us in so we could talk to you about
Are you spying on me?
Brother, we're all getting spied on. That's us coming to talk to you about.
Oh, so you're in the know.
We know the know. We are the know.
You also don't drink the water then.
Nope.
That's how they get you.
No
I
Kool-Aid for us.
I assume you know that. Well then.
Oh.
Looks at the others. They're not with them either, right? They're not hearing voices. They're not talking.
They're cool.
Looks at you all. You all cool? Or are you with them?
Yes, I'm very cold.
I see.
Tero's just gonna take
Ice
off her
cold.
Oh! Kill
Hello.
it.
Also, we're with him.
You're not with them. Well, you're not with them,
Not
but
with
you're not with them.
Right.
Right.
Come on in. Do you have protective helmets?
No.
You're not wearing protective helmets in this city?
No.
You should be. Come in. Please.
Is this person wearing a protective helmet?
Yeah, they're wearing like an egg-shaped pot that they
Oh,
like
right,
fucking
right,
like
right.
bent out of shape to put on their head.
That's right. That's right. Oh my gosh.
Get in. Closes the door behind you, and you can see the door's got like 15 different locks on it. He just goes with like deft motion, just looks back at you all. Okay. Order of business. Who sent you?
Hans,
Hans.
for guess.
Why?
from the boar's tusk. He thought we could help you all in your endeavors in the city.
Looks at Tero. Can I trust them? Attempted killer of the Baron?
Oh, absolutely, yes. I trust them with my life.
But they're not wearing head. None of
It's
you are
like
wearing.
you're a celebrity.
None of you are wearing protective headgear.
I just can't see it.
I mean,
What are you wearing?
My protective
Is this-
headgear.
Yeah, what is it?
No, that's not protective headgear. Looking at Scooch. This is a device of my own making. Protects me against peering minds.
Well, that sounds...
Made it myself, out of a pot.
Wow.
Nothing can get through this
Has-
dome. It's made of lead,
Right. Alright.
Oh. I don't...
which means yes, it would. Those of you who
Yeah,
study magic would
over
know it
time.
would prevent magical penetration, but it probably explains a lot. You used to eat out of this pot, but now it serves a better purpose. They call me Bell and Bill. What are your names?
Mm-hmm.
Code names don't fly here.
Oh.
Well, I'm
My name.
Abraham.
I'm Bell and Bill because I don't remember my real name.
I'm Tero.
Hello.
Crearyn.
Tero, Abraham, Crearyn,
Samira.
Samira,
Scooch. Yeah, you can call me Scooch.
Scooch. Why are you at my clock tower?
Well, we were told that.
You're not with the government, which is good.
No way. Fuck that.
You don't trust the government.
Not with any kind of government. Yeah, man.
I'm a sovereign citizen.
Oh, sovereign citizen.
That is my cue to leave.
No, he doesn't say that. He doesn't say that.
Suddenly I have
He doesn't say that.
Suddenly.
I'm glad you're
You're
not with
just-
the government.
We were told that you might be someone in the know worth talking to.
Oh, I know everything. What do you want? I know everything that goes on in this city. I have eyes and ears everywhere. I spy on everything. I listen in. I see things that others don't see. I've brought into my mind this world and its constructs. I see through them. I can pierce through the veil. So I have to wear this protection, so they don't pierce through my veil.
That's fair.
I'm Bell and Bill. Nice to meet you.
Do you know where we might find more of what you got there? Head protection?
No, made this myself. Only I know how to make these. Perfect this material.
Hmm.
The best of the
Or like
best.
a kitchen or a tavern.
I'm the only person in town who had lead kitchen supplies. Can't trust any other material. Everything in here is made with lead, one way or another. Lead nails.
And you know, it's so malleable. Very...
Yep. That's how I got it to fit around my big head.
Yeah.
So Hans sent you, so you must be part of the rebellion, or seeking to be part of the rebellion.
That's
And you're
all.
with the would-be almost killer of the Baron Philomen Uthred.
Yeah.
Hoping to rectify about half of that.
And you're looking to get into his palace, I presume, and to kill him dead, stone dead. Then wear his entrails like a belt.
Maybe not that last part, but sure.
Okay.
Yeah, you know, get into the entrails and
You ever killed a
Yeah.
man before? Ever taken a man's life? Have ever taken somebody else's life before?
Yeah.
Have you?
Not on purpose.
Oh,
but
I've
more
killed
recently.
many men.
Tell us the story. What was your first kill?
My first kill.
Well, we're kind of busy. We're kind of busy. Why don't we
I
wait for
remember
that
it like it
to
was
happen?
yesterday.
Because it was.
It was my father.
Alright.
Oh,
Went at him with a brick. Because
You
he-
know, we got something in common
because
there.
he said I wasn't allowed to play with my toys anymore.
Oh, well.
He was a
That's
government plant.
Mm.
True story.
Mm-hmm.
No, true story. He was. He was the head jailer for the Dominion in this city. And when I found out what he was doing, I caved in his skull with a brick.
How old were you?
10. Killed my first man at
Strong.
10 years old.
That's a sense
Strong
of
sense
justice
of-
out there from a young
Yeah,
man.
strong sense of
Yep.
justice.
Can't fuck with me. He's scrawny as a toothpick.
Tero is sitting there counting on his fingers when he says that.
So, you're here to kill the Baron, potentially depose the city. I'm sure you're aware that he has body doubles.
Yeah, we were made aware of that fact.
Well,
You know where we could find one of them?
yes. I've been monitoring
Really?
one of their patrol routes. Well, not patrol routes, but their goings-on.
Huh.
Most of them remain, 4 of which were... Numbers are not my strong suit. Come on, Bellland. Remember.
Ooh.
Yes!
Remember.
He has 4 body doubles throughout Volkiel, 2 of which remain at the castle with him at all times.
Right.
But I have discovered the route of one such individual.
Okay.
You asked if I knew where one was.
Right. Can you tell us where to find them?
Why are you seeking out the body double?
Crearyn's going
Don't
to...
you wish to seek out the Baron himself? The body doubles are a waste of time.
Yeah, but I mean,
Do you know what the
how
weird
do you
thing
know-
is about them? Sorry, I did not mean to interrupt you, Mr. Tentacle Man.
I'm just speaking directly into your brain. It's no biggie. I've done it. Gotten into your.
Oh right, he
Yeah.
wouldn't be able to hear you because of his lead helmet.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah.
So actually, why is your tentacle friend so quiet?
He speaks through here.
Nope, not through this protection.
Well, but
That's probably why you don't hear him.
Yeah, that's why you can't hear him.
Or he's just quiet, suspiciously quiet. Looks over at Abraham.
Nope.
We'll speak for him. How about that?
Abraham will just like do one of these.
He's trying to read my mind.
He's just trying to communicate to your mind. He can't really read it.
He knows what I'm thinking.
I mean, he probably could.
Well, he's not that strong.
Oh,
The bare
Abraham's
minimum is a
trying
few
to-
words.
Abraham's trying to see what parts are like weaker, and he's just kind of like poking those.
it's just all blocked by the lead helmet.
Exactly. So like he's kind of looking for like weaker parts of it to try and like get in there.
It's like trying to get through an electric fence. It's like a little bit of like a painful shock every time you try to probe.
Yeah. Abraham's just kind of having fun with that.
You're not like the others that were in the city. He's not kidnapping me
Yeah,
yet. Probably knows that I'm too intelligent for him.
Yeah, probably.
Sorry, you
that's
asked about the
probably
body
it.
double.
Right.
And
So
I-
there's something special about it.
Yes, they've been surgically altered to look exactly like the Baron.
Huh.
It's gross.
So how do we know the doubles are not actually the Baron? So I mean, it's like what, a 1 in 5 chance that when we get one, it's actually the Baron.
Now the good thing about the body doubles and the Baron is that the Baron is remaining in his castle at all times because he's too scared to venture out because of your friend here, but also because of a certain murder that happened last night to a operative of the Vanguard who is actually an agent of the Dominion.
Oh, please tell us more.
But what?
What you just said.
I told you all I know.
Oh.
The Baron stays in his castle because he fears for his life, so the guard presence has increased. And then yesterday, one of
I
his
just need to
agents
get a-
in the Vanguard was murdered in the city, decapitated.
I just need to get a good look at this this Baron double.
His pictures are everywhere.
Are they?
Yeah, look. I got one.
Let's just get a patrol route, yeah, with times and stamps, and then we can just make a plan from there. Yeah.
No, I need to see if like a full body.
So, the Baron Philomen Uthred is a man that looks like he's in his 50s, early 50s, an obese middle-aged man with thinning brown hair and big brown mustache. He has small, unkind blue eyes and dresses in the picture is wearing a heavy fur cloak. Beneath the cloak is a maroon-colored clothes of nobility, maroon-colored leather gloves. That's it. Very bald.
Give me a second, and Crearyn's going to start squeezing their face, and their face begins to melt almost, as they pretty much, it looks like melty clay, as they are pushing in their features, and creating the bulbous look, and then their hair kind of like, they pull at their upper lip, and you see hair kind of curls and forms. And they take on the visage of the Baron.
Oh god, I don't like that.
Right, what does he sound
You never
like?
get used to it.
What does he sound like?
I need some kind of voice.
I don't know, I've never heard him speak.
Oh.
That's not
He's
true.
never done a public
I'm
appearance.
just fucking with you.
That's actually, you can change it. Technically, my voice changes. I just don't know what his voice sounds like.
It's like pompous Eastern European.
That does a little for me. I will Google pompous Eastern European.
It's just like deep, like Eastern European, just like hello.
Oh.
Yeah.
We'll just pretend Crearyn can do
Also,
that,
that's what
'cause I
Crearyn
can't.
basically looks like now.
Oh. Perfect. No, in the Lupin plate armor, like in their normal gear, because they don't change any of that.
You're gonna stand out like a sore thumb wearing that stuff.
Yeah, right.
They're gonna kill you on the spot.
This feels. Crearyn kind of pushes their face in and begins to like squeeze, and you watch as everything kind of sucks back in.
So you can look like the Baron. That's useful.
Right. So that's why I requested to have a visual look upon him.
Okay, well, the one whose route I perceive.
Mhm.
They spend most of their time at the local brothel.
All right.
The Baron had a history of making bastards and then stopped once his daughter died. You'd think it'd be the other way around, he'd keep going. But once his daughter died, he stopped visiting the brothel and spreading his seed. Now he just goes there to drink and talk and spend time with people. Or the double does to maintain appearances.
Oh, this brothel, is it the Dickory Dock?
It is the Dickory Dock.
Excuse me.
The
You've
brothel in
been
town, the
there,
Dickory Dock.
Does the did the Baron have a preference on who they prefer to spend their time with?
Yep,
Care to share?
yep. Men, women, anything really.
Well, it's less fun.
Anyone he could, well, be like, oh, I'm the Baron, do what I want. Not
Right.
in like a bad, evil way, but like, I could pay you
I mean,
to
he
do
sounds
what
like a pretty evil guy in all other aspects.
Yeah, oh, of course, he's a piece of shit, but he was like, do what I want because I can pay for it. Like, look at all this money I have. Suck on my toes, nibble on my feet. Seems like the type.
But now,
Well,
since he's sequestered in the castle and whatnot, he just has his double go there. Or-
No, the double kind of, yeah. The doubles are just scattered about to throw off any would-be assailants.
Wrong.
Anyone within the Dominion and the guard, the worms, would know that the real Baron is in the castle at all times, and the doubles in the streets seen masquerading around would be like, oh, that's not the Baron, what the fuck? So they'd know that a double was moving around.
So we have to keep to.
Oh, sorry, go on.
So if we do replace one, we have to keep to their pretty well set schedule. If we don't want to raise suspicion.
And hopefully know any code words the doubles were given. From what I heard, the code words change every day, just to be safe. They're taking this, like, they really are fearing for the Baron's life, and they're taking all security measures that they can. Body doubles, passwords, codes.
Right, so if we act, we act.
Yeah.
On the day. We do everything in a day. We can't do something and then squat on it.
If we're talking about breaking into the Baron's manor, that would take more than one day. There would be planning involved, scouting out routes.
No, well, I'm saying...
Oh yeah, he can't hear you, I forgot.
Yeah. But what
Indicating
Abraham's saying to everyone else is
okay.
When we act, the plan needs to take place over less than a day. So we do our planning, but it all has to be clockwork. We got to figure it out.
If you do attempt to masquerade as the Baron, he's a sadistic man who delights in the suffering of the people, loves to torture the poor and treat the poor like unkindly, cruel, cowardly, vastly unkind. His servants tend to disappear a lot, but we've never been able to uncover how or why. But the serving staff rotate quite frequently in and out of the castle.
Maybe we could see if the Baron's hiring.
The Baron would know who you all are. You all were arrested. I'm sure he would have been told of the people who were arrested in his city.
Some of us
Oh!
can disguise ourselves.
I let that slip.
What? We were arrested in the city.
I mentioned that they were arrested in the city, but
So you knew who we were the whole time.
yeah. My job is information.
Okay. Your point is?
I'm just saying, he would know the people who got arrested in his city.
How
And
often
wouldn't be
does
able
the
to hire.
Baron actually interact with the hiring process?
He picks all
Do
of
you
the
think?
servants by hand. So he can know who they are, know their every sort of wants, desires, dreams, and manipulate them. He chooses who they are. You could try. That one might stand out, points to Tero. Unless, hear me out on this.
Unless...
Looks to Crearyn. You masquerade as a worm, perhaps,
Mm-hmm.
and tell the Baron you apprehended criminals that escaped their execution or arrest. They would get brought to the dungeons, and you go from there. And I'm sure you would want help, backup, if that is the plan. You couldn't... I feel like storming the manor alone would go poorly.
I don't think that's a terrible idea, but
And if,
before
if
we'll have to initiate that plan with
whenever
the
you,
others.
whenever you figure out what you want to do, I know of a passage into the Baron's sewers beneath the castle, if you wish to infiltrate instead.
Do you have a preference on how we wish to do it, team?
Yeah, I mean, I got this map of the smuggling.
Okay.
Uh,
We should be mindful of the sewers.
so combining that with any knowledge of the sewers might help us map out a bit more of a covert navigation of the city, which would definitely help us get along a bit faster, especially when it's daylight.
The Baron has also requested aid from the Dominion itself in the form of their more powerful soldiers, but I'm not sure if any of those have arrived in this city yet. The Worm Stalkers. They're the Dominion's sort of assassin-like task force, imbued with dragon blood itself, it is said. There's this whole conspiracy about it that I'm really into. I have a whole board about it.
About
The Worm Stalkers, the Dominion's like secret soldiers almost.
Sorry, you said board and I just imagined a Pinterest board about different worms.
yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
Where
then they got like some armor on them, and there's like needles putting a blue juice in them, keeping them juiced up.
No, not these ones. These are people that he injects with his own blood and then sort of works with like weird cults and organizations to build these secret soldiers with his blood that are able to like harness the power of dragons, turn into dragons, so they say.
I'm gonna pull out. Sumaji had a medallion with the insignia of his order, yeah? Yeah?
Yeah.
I'm gonna pull out Sumaji's medallion and show him.
Oh! Yeah. Just like that.
Like these guys?
Yeah.
Okay. I think I know what kind of soldiers we're dealing with.
Yeah. He cloned.
If they were successful, at least.
Well, from what the conspiracy says, they were all cloned too, just in case they died. He could just whoop, send another one out.
Okay. Cool. That's real cool.
But nobody believes me. They think I'm a crackpot.
Well, your pot's intact. I can tell you that much.
I need to communicate with your friend to make sure they're not deceitful. And he takes off the helmet, and you see like the lead has like caused like sores to appear on his head, just from eating away at the flesh. He looks at Abraham. Speak to me.
No, you can put that thing back on. It's all right. We don't need to speak. We're fine.
He's trying to play mind games with me.
No, it's probably the safest thing for you. I'm being honest.
He's like, he squints and like starts staring at you. Reading into minds can go both ways.
Give it your best shot.
Your favorite food is brains.
I think you got a knack for it. Keep it up.
Your favorite pastime is gardening.
close.
Right.
I knew it. He puts the helmet back on. All right. So you plan on infiltrating the castle through the sewers. If you have a map of the sewers, I mean, that would be the best bet. You could find all sorts of secret shit down there through tunnels and stuff. The old, well... Weird shit goes on in the sewers.
As can be expected in a city like this.
Yes. So Hans sent you here to, like, what? Talk with me, learn stuff, plan.
Yeah, you know, find a place to bunk down.
Oh, yeah, I got beds if
Safe
you need them.
house. We'll need them later, probably.
Okay.
We are
Got beds
heading
and
to
food and
the-
drink, whatever you need.
And head to the crematorium.
Oh, you're gonna look for Scratch.
We are, yes.
Easy to find.
Okay. Clue a hint.
Just follow the bangs.
Like explosions?
Yeah.
Or...
He's probably not setting off explosives right now, but...
We'll listen for it.
Which one of you is the most mentally deficient?
The dumbest.
Abe listening to this conversation.
Least amount of intellect. Is that what you mean?
Yes.
Well, I like to think of myself as a little above average.
Same.
He looks over at Abe. I have just the thing for you. You have to make sure your brain is protected at all times in this city. You never know when something's listening in. Any one of your friends could be a thrall, taken over, condemned, consumed. Any one of them could be a spy.
None.
I lied about only having one of these. Reaches under, like, just a piece of furniture and pulls out another one of his, like, pot lead helmets. This is my outdoor one. And hands it to Abe.
Abe will put it on.
Then you just put a lead, basically, pot on your head.
How does it sit on Abe's head?
More like this.
Yeah. A little askew.
Is it?
Actually, it's egg-shaped, so it actually probably would slide on relatively...
Oh, Mega Mind ass.
Perfect. Come here if you need to sleep and eat and drink. I will keep your presence secret. I'll keep it safe. Unless your agency try to kill me.
Yeah. That'll be a ongoing issue.
Yeah. We're pretty chill.
Okay. Looks at Tero. I look forward to seeing you work.
Well, let's think about me working. If I'm doing it right, you won't see it.
Interesting. Looks to everybody else. I hope you all are just as mysterious and good at your work.
Alright.
It will be required. You must have
So-
strong will and strong minds to tackle what we're going up against. They have eyes and ears everywhere. They see all. They see through stone and water and air and earth. The ground
Is there a
cannot be
keyword or
trusted.
code word we can use to get back in?
Yes.
Okay, what is it?
Yes.
Yes.
No, that's not the word. The word is... You can definitely tell he hasn't thought of one. Butterscotch.
Butterscotch.
Can you remember it?
Probably not, but we'll try.
Good. You get a sense he's probably not going to remember it either.
So we can just say whatever word we want. Got it.
Now! Do you wish to eat, drink, sleep now? Or are you leaving
No.
to do more work?
Still midday.
A rebellion
yeah,
does not occur with idle hands, Crearyn.
I'm ready to leave. I'm
Perfect.
waiting for my friends to meet
You
me at
are the
door.
most initiated person I've met in this group. You show initiative and promise.
I'm right.
Looks at Samira. You show courage and bravery. Looks at Tero. You show a knack for bloodlust and murder and death and violence, which is needed in a rebellion. Looks to Scooch.
Bing bong, bing bong.
You look like you're trying to take my job.
No, man.
But
I'm
you
just
look
here for
adept at designing things and creating things. You look like you have good hands.
you. Oh, these old things.
Looks to Abe. You look like you need to work harder on your mental acuities, but we'll get there together. with my tutorage. Good luck, everyone.
Bellend.
Now get out, I have to have a bath. I haven't bathed in 3 days. The
Couldn't
stench
tell.
is unbearable.
Gonna leave. Yeah, gonna leave.
It's really hard to get between the toes wearing this helmet.
Carver's gonna walk out the door.
Oh, I'm gonna lean over to Scooch and just say, "Hey, do you want to ask him about his, number 2 situation?"
No, I do not.
All right.
Says, I forgot about
Yeah, but I've got 1 jar so far that I still need to return, so
Fair.
don't want to. Unlike our friend, I do not want to become that guy. if you know what I mean.
As we all leave, it will take the helmet off and be like, well, I know this thing works, because ever since I put it on, I've been saying, let's get out of here. This is guys are nutter, and none of y'all would hear me. So, I mean, this thing, it works, so, who wants it?
Well, if one of us wears it, then we can't hear you.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
And yeah, it's not magical
Yeah.
anyway, it is just a piece of lead to put over your head.
All right. Thank you, though.
Which blocks all sort of magical divining, essentially.
I mean, one of you should carry this, right? Either one of you that's mobile, or...
Or you just resist it.
Get good.
I mean, I tried telepathically speaking, but none of y'all could hear it, it seemed. Either that or you were ignoring me.
Hey, the more that you're talking, do you think?
What was that?
So the more that you're talking, I mean, you're protected from being detected, right?
Yeah. I mean, imagine me wearing one of them all the time.
Okay.
That's kind of what it is. Only I can project outward, whereas when
Right.
I'm wearing it myself,
Yeah.
I can't. It stops me from. Yeah, it's like putting a muzzle on me.
I can't recall if it was the last session or not, but somebody tried speaking telepathically that wasn't Abraham to somebody else, and they were aware that there was something listening in.
It was me
Oh.
2 sessions ago.
No, it was last session.
Okay,
it was,
so yeah,
Was it?
Tero,
we were in the tavern.
right. Yeah, so
Because
Tero,
Tero tried
Right.
talking, and then
Right,
Samira
it
talked
was
back and was
Tero.
like, "Oh,
Okay.
we're being listened
so
to."
Tero would have shared with
Yeah.
the group that any telepathic communication not initiated by Abraham,
Mhm.
or spoken by Abraham, not spoken by Abraham. Yeah, any telepathic communication not done by Abraham is listened in on. Well,
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So
I think
for
it was-
just for
was actually-
specifications,
Sorry, it was also Samira that noticed it.
Yeah.
Tero failed the roll
Right.
and just kept talking, and Samira noticed it like mid-sentence and was like, "Whoop!
Yeah,
Stop
right,
doing
right.
that."
Whoop.
So you're all
Yeah.
aware that all telepathic communication, aside from Abe's, is listened in on.
okay, but a spell like message, because it distinctly says you whisper, the target hears the message and can reply in their whisper. So it's not technically telepathic. It's as if I'm whispering in their ear.
Only one way to find out, I guess.
That's a whole other can of worms.
I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna put my finger. I'm gonna whisper a message to.
Trying to break
I
my
can't do.
shit.
I can't do to you.
Trying to break
you're-
my
you have-
stuff.
Oh wait, that's also true because this is mental thing. Yeah, I don't. But not everybody has
mind shielding is
message,
essentially a
and
kind of a
it takes the
proxy
action
for
to
that.
cast, and so it's not like it would be the most. It's not going to be the best mode of communication between the group.
Mhm.
It's just something to easily. If we have to say something in regard, this is above table. We have to say something in regards to the brain that we don't want others to hear.
Mm-hmm.
This seems like it could be a good alternative. Like if someone spots something. So
Yeah.
yeah, I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna do message
Yeah.
to Abe.
We just have to be aware of how close other people are to us when doing it.
Abraham, can you hear me?
Can I hear?
You'd be able to hear.
Well, I mean, like, can I hear it based on the thing of the
Whisper aspect of it.
uh,
See, this is what's
It's
interesting,
stealth.
though. So Abraham would have to whisper it back, so it would be in your weird voice.
Yeah.
Because you would whisper
Yeah.
back a message. So that's
It would only be. It looks like it. The text says it's only blocked by magical silence, a foot of stone, metal, a thin
Right.
lead.
so it doesn't operate like a telepathic
No,
communication.
it's not telepathic. You just basically project a whisper.
Okay. So like, but for Abraham's purpose, it would be really difficult to reply back in a like
if the person's
whisper.
wearing a metal head, or
Yeah.
like the lead.
But yeah,
the lead.
Abraham would have to whisper, like actually whisper, and not do it telepathically to respond.
gurgling
Yeah,
voice.
yeah.
So I think that's a good limitation on that. Like, yeah, okay. So it does work. Okay. I mean, I have some means of communicating amongst the group if needed, if we need to keep quiet and relay information that we don't want things to hear.
Yeah.
Just Abraham, for you, you would just have to listen. 'Cause I don't think your voice will. What do you sound like again? Speak again. Like your natural voice?
Really?
Yeah. It makes you uncomfortable. Don't do it. I just want to. Is it difficult for you to make words?
Yeah, it hurts.
Okay. Okay, then don't do it then. So yeah, you just listen to whenever that gets sent to you.
Well,
I
he
would-
could respond.
Yeah, you
back,
could respond
mentally.
Yeah, you can do that because they can't hear your voice, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Just want to make sure I'm understanding fully what we're dealing with.
Alright, who wants this thing? I'm not carrying it around. Don't eat out of it.
Yeah, Scooch, you definitely know the properties of lead and how lead can be incredibly toxic.
I mean,
Could you?
Yeah.
Maybe put a liner in it.
Definitely a bowl. We can add a liner in it or something. We should do. Doesn't have to be right against the skin.
Could you like? So if we already had a
Like
helmet,
that's-
Abraham will just hand it over to Scooch.
yeah, like Scooch, if we had a helmet already, could you like mold the
Okay,
lead
yeah,
to the
sure, yep.
inside of that and then replace the liner on it? Or add new liner to it?
What?
So if we had a helmet already,
yeah, I was
right?
just gonna add. Yeah.
Well, instead of having someone walk around with a lead pot on their head, if someone has like Crearyn, I think has like with this armor, does it have a helmet? I don't fucking know.
I think it does. The
Doesn't mention
worm.
that it has. No, I don't have the worm armor anymore. I left that behind.
Oh,
But if we found a helmet, so like a skull cap or whatever it is, you could just put the lead into the skull
I think
cap.
the assumption is that full plate does come with a helmet, if it's full plate.
Okay. So I have a plate helmet on. I can take my plate helmet off. You can line it with the lead, and then reline it with the comfortable stuff, with the
Okay,
cushion,
so
instead of me wearing a lead cap.
I feel like an element of this particular one, and correct me if I'm wrong if I come up with it, but the benevolent powers that be that help me remember shit. If I start you're aware of like displacement, right? Like if like things can't just go inside other stuff, like you have to change their shape.
Right.
Right. So it's either going to make your helmet look like a flower pot,
Uh-huh.
or we're going to fundamentally change this thing, and I don't know what that'll do to its properties. Like I don't know if it's going to like making it any thinner. I don't know if it's going to change how well it bounces stuff out, or things like that. So I think changing the integrity of the whole
A thin sheet, whatever that means.
a thin sheet.
Yeah,
A thin sheet of lead. blocks my message
Well,
spell.
so we can run some tests, Scooch. I mean,
Sure,
I got
we
direct.
if you guys want to spend some time running tests, yeah, absolutely. Let's run some tests, sure.
It's just
But
ideas to
before
not me walking around with a
commit
lead.
to saying I'm gonna make you a helmet that doesn't look like a flower pot.
Right.
Can't exactly say that, because it's gonna make your helmet look all jacked up, or I'm not sure if it's efficacy. So I could design a helmet around it. I don't know how much it's gonna do to protect your head from things outside. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, I don't think I can do everything. You know what I mean?
I don't believe that. I think you can.
Maybe, well,
You're pretty skilled.
think
Made
about
this.
it like this. What if it's like, you know how something can be gilded, right?
Sure.
Well, what if we take some of this lead and kind of gild a helmet, but from the inside?
It's half. That's the same. What I'm saying. It's half a dozen of some, six of the other. What I'm saying is that I think based on the density of how this helmet currently is, I think that's what's doing the mind. Hold on. Give me a second. That's when I step out of game and I ask DM.
Yeah.
Is that element like, will changing it on a fundamental level, like melting it down and putting a thin layer on stuff, like coating stuff, has the same efficacy?
The thing about lead is like you can bend it. It's like you can bend it with your bare hands.
No, it's incredibly moldable. I'm saying though, if we start molding and changing its shape and all that stuff, like
There's a chance that you could make it like too thin, so it
That's
doesn't
what
function, or there's a chance that like it doesn't fully
it's-
mold to the helmet and there's gaps.
like and there's just a
But you could like, there's a chance like to melt it down. You could dip the helmet in it and just kind of like coat the helmet, but it would have to be the right consistency so it's still thick when it forms to the helmet. Like you would have, there's a way you could do it without having to like destroy the helmet, like reshape the helmet, where you could melt down the lead, dip the helmet in, and basically give the helmet a lead coating. And you could probably figure out the right consistency where it is the right thickness to block telepathic signals.
Okay. If that is something I could do.
And you do have a magical forge attached to Penny.
That's what I'm saying.
So you could probably do it. There'd be rolls involved to see that if you do it
Properly. Yeah. I mean, I'll give it a shot if you guys think. Think you want to try it? Shit, I'll try it.
I think it might be a necessity if and when we come up against any other, any elder brain or elder brain, like any illithid, right? It's gonna be nice to have around.
Alright, on to the crematorium.
Alright. Make your way towards the crematorium, and that's where we're going to have a quick break, because we're at the 2-hour mark. So, quick break, back here to finish it off.
It's raining tacos.
So, everyone just heard it's raining tacos, and you make your way to the cremation pits, which are like a block away from the Boar's Tusk Tavern. So you know the way.
A scan for this guy? I don't know if we want to ask quite yet.
Alright. As you get closer and closer, the stench of like burning people gets stronger and stronger, because they're just continuously burning the diseased people that die in the city to prevent the spread of infection, like they did back in the day. The pits are like these 20-foot around craters, essentially, that they've dug out, and the bodies are just piled up into them and then burned. So they keep digging new pits to burn people, and they just leave them there and then bury them. So a couple of the pits are buried. Most of them are not buried yet because they're waiting for the pits to be filled. But it looks like each pit has about 30 to 40 people in them, and there's about 10 pits or so. So there's about a good 200 to 300 people just dead from this illness. It's not worms doing any of this. It's these. It's just ordinary people wearing like rags basically across their face, and they're just burning people left and right. You do, however, one of the individuals who is hooded and robed and wearing something over their face is a white-scaled kobold wearing a mud-stained fur cloak, layered, sleek, dark gray robes with minor burns on them, a thick belt where numerous corked bottles hang from, and the left hand looks like it's a silver prosthetic, and he's also like aiding in the burning and stuff. And Hans told you that Scratch was a kobold, and this is the only kobold you see, and he is just burning. Well, not burning anybody, but he's helping like put the bodies in. But he also looks like he's inspecting the bodies before they're put in, like thoroughly inspecting them. The other people are looking at him weirdly before they just throw the body in the pit. All the people turn around to face you.
Sorry, I was just looking for one person. Go back to what you were doing.
They all go back to what they're doing, including the kobold.
I'm gonna go up to the kobold.
Yeah.
And in Draconic, I'm gonna say, "Are you Scratch?"
That depends who's asking.
The jackdaw flies south for the winter. Also in Draconic.
Pauses.
Just making up a code phrase.
Turns to the other corpse burners. Ah, my good friends. It would seem that I have been stricken with the diarrhea. I must step away. Good day. And he steps away. And he goes to like a quieter area of the cremation pits area where there's basically nobody working, where numerous pits have been like already filled in. He's standing over there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we shuffle on over there with him.
Hello.
We were sent for you by Hans.
For what purpose?
We were told you might be able to help us acquire something in the line of explosives. For a possible
You're
distraction.
looking for explosives. What kind of distraction are you looking for? I don't know anything about explosives.
Well, my friend here, and I'm gonna like nod over to Tero in the cloak, is rather famous for a certain attempt.
His posh demeanor immediately changes to like excited gremlin. Oh yeah. Let's go. Okay. Explosives.
You're immediately on board.
I
Great.
like your Beetlejuice voice there, Justin.
Never did it before.
Let's go.
You worked out well.
All right, so
It's good. What's his name? Alex Brightman.
from the musical.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right, so you want explosives, and you're looking for what purpose for these explosives? Perhaps, maybe.
Possibly a distraction on the other side of town. Maybe draw a few worms away from the intended target. If you know what I mean.
Interesting. I think something can be arranged. That would depend. Would you be willing to do something for me? In
Depends
payment for
on
the
the task.
in a payment for the explosives.
What is it you need?
There's something fishy about all the dead people.
All right.
And I think
Fishy how?
What?
Fishy how?
Well, there is one body in our possession that is still being prepared for burning. The family had to come confirm the identity, but now it is getting ready to be burned. I want a second opinion, most likely. I've brought it up to the others, and they've been, oh, you're just, you're looking for patterns that aren't there. Just a second opinion, that's all I need.
Just to see if the body is dead?
Well, no, they are quite dead, but there is something a little suspicious about the manner of their death that doesn't point to disease that the officials have been saying.
We can check that out for you.
Perfect, come with me.
Follow suit.
He's humming to himself as he leads you all. Oh, he's also wearing rose-tinted glasses. I mean, leads you all into like what looks like what would essentially be a morgue, but a shitty one, like an ice box that they used back in the day to like keep their food cold and stuff. He opens it, ushers you all inside quickly, make sure no one's watching, closes the door behind him, and you see the corpse of a relatively handsome individual, completely bare on the ice, completely pale, like they were drained of all their blood, which would be common in this kind of situation. Tell me what you find that's suspicious. I want to know if I'm not crazy, so I don't want to point out anything.
Anybody proficient medically?
I have
proficiency. I have a plus 30.
I have a +2.
Abraham's just digging in. He's having a look.
All right, just.
Yeah.
Like.
Crearyn's gonna help Scooch be more thorough.
Okay. Scooch, medicine check with advantage. Tero, or Abraham, the body is extremely cold. There's some abrasions around the neck. Like bruising. What'd you get, Scooch?
8 for both. It's 11.
11, okay. So with Scooch doing like a more thorough medical exam kind of deal, Abraham just getting up in there. What are both your passive perceptions or passive investigations? What are your passive investigations?
18.
18.
Okay.
Nice.
I think passive investigation would work more here because you're both kind of on the nape of the neck, or not the nape of the neck, but roughly where the jugular is, are 2 bite marks, 2 little pinpricks.
Huh.
And you're staring at the pinpricks. See anything peculiar?
Yeah, I mean, a point of egress for the blood, I think.
Familiar with the vampire A1 Nosferatu.
Correct, it would seem that this victim was drained of their blood by a vampire. And coincidentally, all of the dead that are being burned have the same markings and blood loss. So it is not a disease that is spread around Volkill. It is, in fact, a creature of the night, a vampire.
Wow.
Right.
Are they all coming from the same location? Are they all throughout the city?
They will. Now, the funny thing is, most of them were found in and around the noble district where all the nobility lives. These are all noble individuals, but their bodies have been manipulated. When their bodies arrived here, they were dirtied and beaten up to be sort of disguised as the poor. Families came to identify the bodies, but the families were also poor, strangely enough.
Do you got a lead on where these vampires are coming from?
Oh, I don't. All of the bite marks are the same size and pattern. I believe we are dealing with a singular entity, and all of the bodies have been recovered from the noble district, so somewhere around there, and someone is very keen on ensuring that it is tucked away and hidden, so nobody knows what's actually going on.
Okay, so above table really quick,
Yeah.
just so I can understand.
Yeah.
These bodies are coming from the nobility district.
Yeah, where the Baron,
But-
where all the Baron and all the nobles live.
Nobles live, but they're actually poor people.
No, they're nobles that are being their bodies are being like dirtied and
Okay.
Passed off as
And the people who are coming
brutal,
to
like beaten
identify
up,
them,
so they look like they're poor people, and the
Right.
people that are coming to identify them are poor people.
Right. So
These
So
are
they're
these are
being
these are these are
misidentified?
nobility that are being identified by poor people as people who they're not supposed to be, where they not are. Like it's being covered
so
up.
are we
Oh, so it's made
We-
that. Okay. So
Yeah,
it's like
yeah.
a big intricate web. Okay,
Yeah.
got it. I was like, wait, that doesn't make any sense. So
hold on.
they're
Are we
confirming
thinking,
it to be other people.
Yeah.
Are we thinking this vampire might actually be an ally?
Oh, of course not. If the Dominion is seeking, if the Baron and his forces are seeking to keep it, well, if the Worms and all of the higher ups in the city are seeking to keep this hush hush and are covering it up, I don't think they're an ally of ours.
But why nobility? They got the. They got the
They might just be the closest target to where this vampire is residing.
I have a couple questions. We heard that the Baron's only child died. When abouts was that? When did that happen?
Uh, 4 years ago?
And when did the disease start?
A couple of weeks ago? Maybe a week ago?
Okay.
Oh,
Alright.
actually no, it would be 2 weeks ago because when you guys were here in the city, the bodies were just starting to get burned.
Okay.
So it would be about just over 2 weeks. Yeah, so yeah, about just over 2 weeks or so.
So okay, wait. So we know that they're nobles, but poor people, poor individuals, are coming to identify the bodies.
Or people disguised to be poor individuals.
Okay. But they're giving them their correct name, or they're giving them.
They're
different
giving them a
names?
name, and the people are accepting it.
Got it.
The head mortician here that's dealing with all of this is accepting the documents that are given, identifications, names, ages.
So we got to be concerned about this aristocracy for some reason. Are there any victims that aren't aristocracy?
The only ones that have been recovered are nobility,
Right.
or were recovered from the noble district. No one has ever been found in the other areas of the city. So it looks like whatever's happening is contained to that area of the city specifically.
When it comes to something like this, I think. Well, I mean, maybe it's not related, but what happens to the wealth of the people that are dying? You know, if it's all nobility and they're all kicking buckets, so to speak.
Most likely gets distributed amongst their family and the other noble families that are still around.
Right.
Have there been any families that have been completely wiped out? Any lands that are gone?
Not that I'm aware of. I don't believe so.
Anyone that's on the verge of being wiped out?
Again, not that I'm aware of.
Is it
So, I
race, gender?
All
Age.
an assortment, all kinds.
right, yeah, I don't.
Usually young.
Adolescent or like teenager?
Young adult.
Young adult. Okay.
Usually people that would have looked good looking before their bodies were disfigured.
Also, pardon me really quick about people. Just want to clarify. This person is part of
Yes.
the inner
The
workings,
rebellion,
right?
yeah.
Is anybody else around?
No,
us?
it's just you guys in this
us?
little icebox, yeah.
Of course.
Okay. Theory, thought, potential. If Abraham, I like the way that you were thinking initially, that this potentially could be an ally. That might be something we can consider. I mean, we have someone who is going after nobility. At the very least, we could utilize their bloodlust, their thirst, as a secondary distraction or a third distraction. So we can have our our boom pops happening. We can have another area of nobility being mauled by this potential vampire while we're infiltrating the castle.
Yeah, and I mean,
Just a thought.
I don't know how Tero feels about it, but well, we don't have to be the ones that kill the Baron. If
True.
if we lure the Baron to this, I mean, they got a taste for blue blood, right? They might take care of the Baron for us.
None of the dead have blue blood. What is blue blood?
It's a turn of phrase for nobility.
Loyalty.
Oh,
Yeah.
right, got it. Blue blood. Ha, I like that.
Is there a reason why they call them that? Sorry, I have no idea about that.
Blue blood was the substance that the guys from like the other settlements were feeding people to like turn them into mutations.
But if you're looking
But in
for the
nobility
actual
terms.
phrase,
Like etymologically.
yeah, but if you're looking for the phrase blue blood,
Right.
it's because
It didn't work a lot, right? So they didn't have a lot of oxygen in their
their
blood.
skin was so pale
Yeah.
that it
Okay.
was like
That's what I thought.
clear, and the veins were blue.
That's what I thought. Okay. That's what I thought. It's a lack of manual labor, effectively being out in the sun.
They were inside so often because they didn't
Often,
have to
yeah.
actually work, so their
Right.
skin was paler.
Police their
Yeah.
skin.
At least in Europe.
No, wait. That I don't like the sound of that. I like the sound of us being the ones to take down the Baron.
Perfect.
That's
As
a
long as
pride
someone
thing,
kills
too.
the Baron, I think people will eventually be happy. The nobles might not be so much, but the people the downtrodden and the poor and the disenfranchised and the people who he steps on and is cruel towards, they'd be happy.
Yeah, we need to allow Tero to complete the circle.
I would appreciate that.
Fully incomplete at the moment. Look, would you like to do all the extras as well? The ones that want to be the Baron? I mean, that might just make it a little bit more interesting.
Not necessarily. We talked this morning, I don't know if you remember, about the idea of potentially turning one of them and having our own Baron.
But that would, yeah, that's ideally I would be taking that
You
position.
would want to turn one of the body doubles into the Baron?
Well,
no.
thing is with
really,
you taking
they're
that
gonna
position
squish
is
their
that-
face and turn their head for a moment into the Baron's visage and like push it back, almost like in
Gross.
the Avatar with the face changer, the face stealer.
No, but I mean, each of the doubles likely has like some type of pressure point, yeah.
You
And
could probably convince them to join
Well,
us.
the doubles are also, I don't know if you're aware, but associates of mine and whatnot, we've discovered that the doubles are people who've been surgically altered to look like the Baron, most likely against their will.
Yeah, we've been made aware.
So why would you want to make them...
Oh, I had no idea that they were against their will. I missed that discussion earlier, I think. I don't remember them talking about it being against their will. I remember you saying that they were surgically altered.
Yeah, he didn't mention the against their
Oh,
will
okay.
thing. Scratch
Okay.
mentions against their will.
Well, that changes things. I did not know that. Is
So
there a way
maybe
that
they
we
might
can
be
fix
more
them?
willing to turn.
Find the person who's controlling them.
Yeah, I don't think. Yeah, and I don't think we would. I don't think we would want to go about confronting them per se. I mean, especially if they're going against their will, then I don't feel comfortable taking one out. Maybe
Yeah,
I mean maybe
I can just-
subduing them.
I can just scramble the eggs for a bit.
Yeah. I think we can potentially make an ally of this vampire, maybe. Anybody against that possibility?
I mean,
I can't tell you either way until we meet them.
yeah,
But
we
I
have-
don't hate the idea of having a vampire on our side.
And if not, hey, we get rid of vampire, and we maybe get the nobility on our side, right? They're living in fear. Maybe we.
Is that the groups that we? I mean,
The nobility of the city are very much in line with the will of the Dominion.
Right, but the cowards. That's why they're in line with the Dominion, right? And the cowards, especially regarding the things most imminent upon their mortality, which
Ooh.
will be vampire.
I'll also say, this corpse is the last one. We haven't had a corpse in a few days. It used to be once a day we'd find one. Now it's been a few days, so whatever it was, maybe it is hiding. Maybe things got too hot for it, and it's hiding somewhere in the city. Wouldn't be able to leave the city because there are wards to detect undead within the city's limits. As per the Shadow Touch Wilds nearby, undead roam everywhere, so the people are quite wary of such incursions.
I don't ping as undead, DM, do I?
I don't know, do you?
Do I?
I don't
It
know.
would tell you if you're.
Let me look.
Rowan, you can suss that out.
Oh no, I'm
huh?
humanoid. Never mind. Okay.
Yeah,
Oh,
you
yeah,
wouldn't.
I feel like we had this conversation before.
Yeah.
The ability to make myself look like an appealing morsel, but I also have the ability to extend my senses to detect there's those of that type. Has any of them? I imagine you're catching them before they have the potentially to turn. Is there
They've been
requirements to
well,
turn them?
they've been delivered in this state, and none of them have turned. And they usually stay in the icebox for a few days while the procedures are done on them. And the people are come to verify everything. So they hear from
I'm
me.
always
They're in
down to
this.
play
They're in
with
this
Satan.
shack here for 3 days at most. Usually, vampires rise the night they're turned.
The specifics. Just in case, I'm going to do a divine sense in this room.
Nothing.
Okay, we're good. You would watch as y'all used to seeing that emerald color. The eyes have that emerald at first. It like expands like emeralds, and then in the center it expands out to like this that similar black sheen that coats the war pick. It kind of goes out, and there's like that little bit of like smoky, almost like soot and ash kind of lifting at the edges as they do their divine sense. So nothing, no, like the ground around us isn't consecrated or hallowed or anything. Okay. They blink and it dissipates.
But regardless, something strange is going on, and
Yeah. I mean, yeah, let's do it. Let's hang out in this noble district, see if we can't wrangle this vampire and ask it a few questions or rough it up and get rid of the problem.
alright,
I
well,
mean-
hopefully you can find out where it's hiding.
I'm gonna do. Does anybody have any coin?
Yes.
What? You don't got
There it
How
is.
much are you looking for?
Terry, you gave me the 30
Mhm.
from last night. Okay, to make sure.
Oh yeah, yes. I forget everyone had 30 gold there in inventory.
Yeah, I added
Yeah.
30 gold to Crearyn. and
You had it
Dave.
from okay.
Yeah.
All right, yeah. That was from our friend in the alley.
Yeah. Just a little bit of coin to buy some. I mean, I'm gonna play the bait. Why not? y'all can sprinkle
I don't
around.
hate that plan.
And I have the capabilities of, if the vampire gets too, I can.
Crearyn actually doing that?
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's actually funny.
Oh my gosh, Crearyn has a sense of humor.
Wow.
I have one of two things that I could utilize against it. If it just seems like they're not going to be friendly, they're going to grab the little glass sphere, send it right to prison.
Oh yes.
They're going to wrap that back up in its little safety.
The one that
away.
Carver gave you to teleport back to the Vanguard.
We figured out that it was going to the prison instead. I want to utilize that for something else, but
yeah, you found out it.
Send them a present gift wrapped.
Yeah, you found out it leads directly to Rimfanger jail.
Or I have some divine sparks that I can throw in their face.
As you think up plans to deal with said vampire and its feeding on the nobility of Volkill, with your conversations with this strange little kobold, that's where we're going to end the session for the week. And
Oh yeah.
we'll be back in July 2nd July 2nd to record this, to release July 3rd.
My birthday week.
Yay, mine's the week after, sort of. But next week, our next session of From Ash and Earth. So
Be there to see the
will not
vibe.
be this group next week.
Be there or be square.
It'll be Lex's group next week. So
Yeah.
until then,
Caleb and Kate, get the hell out.
yes. Until
Bye.
then, good night, everybody. Bye bye.